Welcome back. In this lesson, we are going to be doing slicing with objects. So we've done it with the plane. So let's just go ahead and erase these planes. So go ahead and delete those, or you can do a new project. But I really just want to keep this Suzanne that we've already, made into a manifold object here. And there we go. So we got our Suzanne, and I'm just going to rename that Suzanne just for simplification. And there we go. We've got our monkey here. And we've got all these bool tools from our slices, so let's just go ahead and delete those. And you can keep your eyes, the Suzanne eyes here. And there we go. So now we are ready to slice with objects. So say if we wanted to slice Suzanne with another kind of very organic or crazy object, or just a simple box. So let's do Shift A and create a box or a cube. So do a cube. And notice it's really, really tiny here. So let's do we can just go into edit mode, scale that up. So I'm just scaling the box in edit mode. And the reason I'm scaling in edit mode is just to keep all the scale ratios to 1. So now we've got a nice big box here. And let's grab this maybe on the Y and just kind of move that out. So say if we wanted to make Suzanne's head able to be opened or, anything really. So I'm going to just bring this up here, G and Y. So now we've got a little box here. I might even scale this down here a little bit. So we're just trying to make a box on Suzanne's head here. And what I want to show you here is how to take normal objects and slice it from your main objects here. So we're just going to use a simple cube. And the trick here when doing kind of these advanced slicing is just whatever you want to be your cutter object. We can go ahead and call this maybe slice cube. So this is our slice cube. Whatever you're going to use as your slicer, you want to make sure you have the solidify modifier added to it. That's the trick here. So if you remember anything today, is to make sure if you are slicing, the solidify modifier is going to be your friend. So let's go ahead and do that. And just like we did in the last lesson, we'll do 0.3. You can do 0.5 if your printer's not, as dialed in as it should be. So now we've got a box here. And if we do Alt-B and kind of just hide half of that, we'll be able to see inside of our box here. So notice, since we've added the solidify, we've kind of made this box almost like hollow. It's just got a 0.3 thickness on the walls of it. And I didn't change the offset to 0 like we did in the last lesson. You can always play around with those offsets if you want, but essentially what's happening is, the -1 is anytime we're increasing this, it's going to bring the thickness inward. So if you wanted to do the opposite of that, or if you wanted it to grow in both directions, you could 0 that out. But usually when you're using kind of boxes or other objects to slice other objects, -1 for the offset works really well. So I'm just going to leave it -1. And let's put that back to 0.3. And so now we're ready to slice. So I'm going to do Alt-B to get our Suzanne and everything back. But I just wanted to kind of show you inside, what's happening to that cube. Now let's do some slicing. So same thing as before, like we did with the planes. Just click on the slicer object first. Make sure you have the solidify, and shift click on your main object. So shift click, and then we're going to use our slice brush boolean again. I'm just going to use the quick key, which is Control divide or Control backslash on the numpad. Bloop. And there we go. So now we've got a nice slide, but just like before, like we did with the plane, it's not going to work until we click on the actual sliced piece. So now select that little sliced piece. You can kind of see this outline of the slice here, kind of going into the head and then wrapping around right here. That's what you want to delete. So make sure you have that selected and then hit X to delete it. And looky there, you've got a nice slice. I've been wanting to learn how to do this for so long, and I finally figured it out. So I was super excited to share this with everybody. And the cool thing about this, it's super flexible and super awesome. So now you can easily slice objects. If you want to even go into edit mode, grab this plane, You can do G and Z, bring it down. Everything is super editable. And you can do these crazy slicing. Like if we were to do this manually, it would be pretty tricky. But with this technique, it looks like you did some super advanced slicing. But we did. I guess technically we did. But it's just really easy and flexible and fun. So I just wanted to share that with you. I can see that it's kind of poking out a little bit right there. So I'm going to bring these in, maybe even go into edit mode on our slicer cube. Select all. And just scale it down just a little bit. So feel free to do anything you want. I'm just doing kind of a basic visual here. You can even do a bunch of different things. If you want to add, let's just add another object. So we'll do Shift A. We'll do maybe a cylinder. Maybe the radius is 25. And I'm just freestyling here. And the depth, we could do 25 again. There we go. And so we're going to use this as our slicing cylinder. So you can call it slice cylinder. And then again, make sure you always add your solidify modifier or it won't work the way that we're doing here. So solidify 0.3, and then we can do G and Y. Oh, make sure you have your cylinder, G and Y. I'm just going to put it somewhere in there. Shift click, make sure you have your slicer cylinder selected. Then shift click on the monkey head and do Control/ on the numpad. And there you go. But remember, it's not going to work unless you select the little slice here and delete it. So I've got the slice selected. You can see it kind of highlighted here and here. And now we'll hit X to delete. And there we go. We've got a super adjustable slice that you can do. And let's see if we can even do it intersecting with other objects. So G and Y, G and Z. And looky there, you can even intersect more objects to make even crazier. So if you wanted to make like insane puzzles or things that just kind of link and lock together, you can do this really easily. Or say if you needed, if it's your printer, you're printing these and they're melting together, you could always come in here and do like 0.5 and make your tolerances bigger. So I don't know. I think that's really cool. And I was just super excited to share that with y'all. So that is how you do super easy slicing on objects with other objects or with planes. So hopefully you learned a lot in that lesson. Let me know in the comments if there's anything that was confusing to you, and I'm happy to help you. But other than that, get to slicing, and let's go ahead and export this monkey out. So I'm just going to hide these. We'll hide this one. Same thing as last time. You can just click the one object here. And we can call this like Suzanne Advanced Slice, like that. Go into our 3D print toolbox. I'm gonna go ahead and save and export this out. Go into our slicer of choice. I'm just gonna select all of these and delete them. And let's bring in our other one, Advanced Slice. Break it into parts and arrange it with A. So this one may be a little trickier to print, but look at that. I mean, look at the ears here. This one, just in general, is just insane. So really, really cool trick if anyone's interested in that. And yeah, happy slicing, and go ahead and print that thing.